All right, good morning, everybody, and happy Wednesday. We are halfway through the week, and we're talking about the weather for today, the next couple of days, and as we head into the second weekend of July. Yesterday was hot. We hit 100 degrees plus. For Tuesday will be similar to today and even hotter for tomorrow. Matter of fact, by Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, we'll be challenging records here in San Antonio and across the region, across the state of Texas. If you have any questions, let me know. We'll be on here live for the next 20 minutes or so, just answering questions and again talking about the forecast for San Antonio. And if you have questions about Houston's weather, Dallas's weather, if you're traveling across the nation next couple days, feel free to ask. We'll be on here for a little bit answering questions and having some fun talking about the weather. Bet we set a record for most 100-degree days in San Antonio, David says. Yeah, matter of fact, let's actually start off with that. So here are some weather headlines. Record challenging heat. So in addition to almost every single day the last 2 months hitting 100 plus, we're almost going to challenge even some daily to all-time records as we move into this weekend, Saturday and Sunday. But David mentioned we could be breaking a record when it comes to the most 100-degree days in one given year. Now, we're not there yet. However, it's still early July. Summer began about a few weeks ago. We're still in the early stages of summer, and we're already at 27 total days at triple-digit heat, or 100 degrees or more. Now, you'll see the day or the year that has the most number of 100-degree days in one given year. So you'll see back in 2009, 59 total days at 100 plus. Back in 2011, 57 days at 100 plus. We're only at 27 now, but we're only about 30 days away from that second place record. And if not, it looks like we'll be near fourth or fifth place. Back in 2020, we had 100 degrees 36 times. We're less than 10 days away from that. And the next 7 to 10 days in San Antonio through the middle of July, it looks like we'll be hitting triple-digit heat. So this is a record that we could definitely get in the top 5 for. And remember, it's only early July. We still have the rest of this month. We have August, and even into early September, we can typically hit 100 degrees or more, and not until the beginning of fall, so when things start to slowly cool down here in the city. So we have a long way to go. We're in the heart of summer, and temperatures are expected to be near 100 to 101 later on today. But yes, back in 2009, that is the all-time record for number of 100-degree days spent here in San Antonio. So 59 days of triple-digit heat back in 2009. That's basically the benchmark, right? 2009 and 2011. When you refer to those kind of years, specifically here in San Antonio and across South Texas, that is the years where we are in just severe to extreme drought. Plus, the heat was averaging out at 98 to 99 to 100 degrees every single day. And the fact that, last month was the hottest June on record, back in May was the hottest May on record, it looks like we're doing the same thing. We'll continue the streak for this month, for the month of July, and as we go into August as well. So it's going to be very hot today. Prepare for another day under triple-digit heat. Now, we're not too bad right now. You can see we're at 88 here in San Antonio, 90 at Pleasanton. We have some lower 90s down I-35, 92 at Pearsall. Cotulla's at 92 as well. And if you have plans outdoors today, it looks great. Our cameras at Morgan's Wonderland is not working. We'll get that fixed later on. But otherwise, look at Calaveras Lake, Skycam, near the east side of San Antonio, and also the airport, San Antonio International, all reporting baby blue skies, blue bonnet skies, and a lot of sunshine out there as well. If you have plans outdoors for the next couple hours, obviously it's going to be hot, so you'll see mostly clear, 94 at 1, 98 at 3, and then we'll climb to about 100 to 101 this afternoon. And if you're wondering what the weather is going to be like across the state, well, no surprise. You'll see as I put this into motion, they're about 4 and 5 p.m. today, 102 in Austin, 102 in San Antonio. We could be around 103 in some areas around the metro, 106 in Oklahoma City, 96 in Amarillo, mid to upper 90s in Houston. The reason why Houston doesn't reach as high as us is because they're near the Gulf of Mexico. They're near the water. That usually regulates their temperature a little bit more. So despite us being at 102, they're at 96 this afternoon. But when you factor in the humidity in Houston and in Galveston, their heat index could be up to 104 to 105. That's their feels like temperature or their heat index over in East and Southeast Texas. But air temperatures in San Antonio, a bit drier. The heat's a little drier as opposed to a more humid heat near Houston and Corpus Christi. That's why their air temperatures don't get as high as ours, but regardless, still humid, still hot, and will be around 102 here in San Antonio and similar numbers across the board. So let's chat about the drought. It's terrible. I mean, you can see latest drought report from last Thursday, just expanding everything from, extreme drought, which is everything in red, to exceptional, which is everything in that maroon, dark reddish color. That is a level 5 out of 5 for drought, and that is the worst kind you can get. Now, out northeast of Austin, it does improve, but you'll see in our neck of the woods, around San Antonio, it is terrible. We are under exceptional drought for the most part in San Antonio, and the fact that the next 7 days is not going to yield much in the way of rainfall and more in the way of heat, it's not good news, not the best combination, and prepare for more today. 90 at Stinson, 88 at the airport. We're reporting a southwest breeze at the airport at 9 miles an hour. Today will be a little breezy at times, but nothing too windy to keep the air moving that much. But it's all from the south. Remember, that's a humid wind off the Gulf of Mexico. 91 at Moore, 89 at Hondo. We have 88 Lavernia, 90 over at Calaveras Lake. And again, we're seeing hotter temperatures southwest of San Antonio towards the Rio Grande. Remember, anywhere west of I-35 is a dry heat, and towards I-37 in Beeville and Corpus Christi, Port Aransas, Port Lavaca, that's where you tap into more of a humid heat. So air temperature stayed down, but the humidity rises the heat index, so it's a trade-off. Regardless, still pretty hot out there. And no relief in sight. However, the closest rain, if you are traveling down I-10 towards Houston and maybe towards Lake Charles in Louisiana, there's some rain out there, far removed from San Antonio. You can see Lake Charles tapping in to some pretty good heavy rainfall from New Orleans to Baton Rouge to pretty much all of the southern coast of Louisiana. That's where they're getting in on some much needed rainfall. Wish we could get into that, but that is going to be mostly to our east for today. Let's save that view and look at the nation as a whole. Now, again, if you're just joining us, feel free to ask questions if you're going to California, Florida, the East Coast for the next couple of days, or if you have a planned trip for next week, feel free to let me know. Otherwise, if you're flying out today and there's no delays, the weather will not delay anything. Aside from some rain in Louisiana, some sea breeze showers in Florida, and also some scattered showers in the Midwest and the plains. There's nothing severe out there and nothing that would warrant a canceled flight weather-wise, right? But most of Texas, it is dry, so if you're traveling to Dallas, Houston, Del Rio, El Paso, or to Austin today, It's going to be quiet. It's going to be very hot. So feel free to let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Otherwise, your forecast for San Antonio, it stays pretty hot. 100 to 101 and likely around the metro 102. So it's going to get scorching hot today. If you look closely, upper left-hand corner, average high for early to mid-July is, 94 degrees. And will be about 6 degrees above that. So it's going to be unseasonably hot today, as it's been the last 2 months. Nothing has really changed. And as I change that, perfect, it's just going to be a toasty day today. So if you're heading outdoors this afternoon, if you're going to the river, if you're going to the creek, if you're going to the beach, the lake, if you're going to Canyon Lake, Medina Lake, be careful. Obviously, it's going to be hotter than normal and summer heat in full force, 100 today, and the heat index will be around 103 to 104 when you factor in the high amount of humidity we have out there. So let's walk you through futurecast. Is there a chance at rain today? Now, as you saw earlier on radar, there was a few showers in Louisiana, and some of them may drift farther east towards Houston. So if you're traveling down I-10 later on this evening, 5, 6, 7 p.m., you may run into a rogue to spotty downpour. Otherwise, most of our region dry, hot, a few clouds overhead, and at about 100 degrees later on this afternoon. Now, you'll see as we put this into motion for late tonight and into early tomorrow morning, those showers fizzle out. When you lose heating of the day, and temperatures cool off, less hot air is rising, so there's less instability in the air, and that touches off just showers in the late afternoon and evening, and then everything backs off towards the late night and the pre-dawn hours every single day. So we're in that kind of pattern where there is a chance, but mostly out east and southeast near the coast, for a stray downpour. Otherwise, we stay quiet. Tomorrow morning, we are mostly cloudy. If you're heading out Thursday morning, 70s, partly to mostly cloudy, and tomorrow afternoon we'll do it all over again. Triple-digit heat expected for the city, and that would probably be the 29th day so far this year we see 100-degree weather or hotter. Now look at this. The overall pattern, it doesn't change much. You can see that heat high moves right overhead and travels and traverses across the plains, pretty much from Florida all the way back near Texas through the Rocky Mountain Northwest. And the thing is, with this ridge of high pressure, it strengthens, it amplifies, and it widens its reach, its grip from Los Angeles all the way to the southeast, which is going to dominate everyone's weather pattern. It will be hot, later on this week. Matter of fact, Saturday and Sunday is going to be near 104 to 105. But if you're traveling north into Colorado or the Dakotas or even California, Las Vegas, Florida, anywhere that's under the influence of this ridge of high pressure is going to be subject to a lot of heat and just a lot of clear sky. Matter of fact, here's the temperature outlook for the next 6 to 10 days. Wait for it to load. We'll see if that happens. There we go. Perfect. We'll just reload that, and you'll see, for most, if not for all of the nation, will be underneath above average heat, right? So average this time of year is 94, and will be around 100 degrees for the next 6 to 10 days, and that's the outlook for San Antonio and for much of the states. However, the Midwest and the Northeast may be a little cooler than normal, if not just near average, which is, again, not saying much because it is summertime. Everywhere is hot. But if you're wondering where it's going to be hotter than average and hotter than normal by this weekend and next week, it's Texas, it's the Southeast, and more importantly, it's the Pacific Northwest. From California to Idaho to Washington State and Oregon, they're going to see temperatures way above the July average into next week as we head to the middle of July time. Now, specifically for San Antonio, 101 to 100 today, 101 tomorrow, and we go up a level Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. We crank the heat up by 105 on Sunday, and Sunday has an off chance at maybe a stray shower or two, but it looks like it's going to be partly cloudy and just really, really hot. That's heat advisory criteria. So with air temperatures probably between Friday and Sunday up to 103 to 105, plus the heat index up to 106 to 109. Those are going to be specifically dangerously hot days and also very humid. So obviously today's going to be hot, tomorrow's going to be hot, but if you are spending any time outdoors, this weekend, Friday through Sunday, please be careful. Take breaks, find a way to cool off because temperatures are going to be about 10 to 15 degrees above the average, and that's just a heat wave beyond what we typically see even for Texas in the summertime. Now, in the hurricane season, in the tropics, we typically look to the southeast for any relief coming our way. In the Gulf of Mexico, the Caribbean, we look for any tropical waves, tropical depressions, storms to give us a little bit more cloud cover, some rain, cool air, but there is nothing out there that is an interest for us. However, if you look down to the south of Mexico, two different systems bear some watching, not for us, but for areas along the west coast. But these particular two systems are traversing away from land. So if you have any plans to go to western Mexico this weekend, it looks fine. Hurricane Bonnie, a Category 2, that storm actually moved off the Atlantic and moved across Central America last week. And now it is in the Pacific as Hurricane Bonnie, but now a Cat 2 hurricane. Winds are at 110. And there is an additional tropical wave behind Bonnie that has another pretty good chance of development through about, let's say, Saturday and Sunday. 50% shot at some tropical formation. But you'll see, all these are moving away from land. They're moving away from Mexico, away from Texas, and away from the Baja and also Southern California. So these are not going to be much of a threat for them, but it is hurricane season, so we'll keep tabs on everything that forms. Now, if you're wondering, obviously Bonnie's out there. What's the next name on the list for the Pacific hurricane season? The next name on the list, I believe, is the D storm, and that would be Darby. So that has a 50 median % chance of development. And if it were to organize and center around an area of low pressure, that'd become Tropical Storm Darby, and most of these storms are heading away from land once again. All right, 7-day forecast. There is one small outside chance at rain. That's on Sunday evening, Sunday afternoon. 10, 20, stray shower. That's it. Otherwise, the entire 7-day stays dry, hot. 104 Saturday and 105 on Sunday. That would both likely either challenge or break records. So look at that. Between Friday and Monday, we're looking at temperatures about 10 to 15 degrees above average, depending on where you're watching from. For San Antonio, that's about 10 degrees above the July average. And obviously, it's hot this time of year. So to say we're hitting 105 in summertime, and on Sunday and Saturday, that is way hotter than we're supposed to be. Obviously, it's hot this time of year, but that is just way insanely above average. So we're entering yet again, another heat wave that is going to crank up temperatures later on this weekend. So it goes up a level. Friday, 103, 104 on Saturday, and 105 on Sunday. Not much relief in the way of that very small chance at rain. Otherwise, just partly cloudy on Sunday and a light southeast wind. You'll see southeast winds are going to be light. So when you add in triple-digit heat, 105 plus a wind at 5 to 10 miles an hour, that's not going to help. That's not going to provide any solace. So we stay scorchingly hot later on this weekend. Today, 100, 101 on Thursday, and then we start to trend back down. But the entire 7-day is above average. So this July heat wave is not going anywhere. Again, if you're traveling anywhere this weekend or spending any time outdoors, be careful if you're going outdoors this weekend. Disturbance building in the tropics. Yeah, so we just talked about that. If you're just joining us, we checked on hurricane season. No direct threats to the Gulf of Mexico, no direct threats for the Caribbean Sea or the Atlantic. Matter of fact, the Hurricane Center says the entire Atlantic basin, no tropical activity is expected in the next 5 days, nothing. However, in the Pacific basin, that's where, a couple more systems are lighting up, and that is the tropical disturbance that some are asking about. You can see there is a tropical wave south of Mexico and west of Central America that has a pretty good chance of developing, but that's through pretty much the weekend. 50% chance that becomes Tropical Storm Darby. Ahead of that tropical wave is Hurricane Bonnie, and that's at 110 miles an hour around the eye wall. So that's a pretty full-blown hurricane. That's not major just yet, but it's in a conducive environment where it's going to tap into warm water. I'll have to check on the wind shear, but if you look closely, it's a pretty impressive satellite image of Bonnie, and don't mind that 10 to 15% chance at formation. Bonnie is already a hurricane's Category 2. And if you look closely, it's not encountering much in wind shear. In fact, Bonnie looks pretty impressive on satellite. It's very compact, somewhat symmetrical. All the thunderstorms, all the convection are blowing up on all sides of that storm, which is why it's really impressive. And you can see all the cool cloud tops and the thunderstorms that are really wrapping around that center of circulation, around that Category 2 hurricane, what is now Hurricane Bonnie at this hour. But again, behind it, tropical wave has a pretty good chance of developing over the next 5 days. Otherwise, San Antonio, it stays dry, and both those storms are moving away from land and away from Mexico. Yeah, April, 104 to 105, and maybe even 106 later on this weekend. So the hottest temperature so far this year is actually 105. Back last month, I believe it was in the middle of June, one of many heat waves produced an air temperature of 105 here in San Antonio last month. So we'll tie that likely on Sunday. If we hit 106, that would be the hottest temperature so far this year. Now, if you're curious, what is the hottest temperature ever in San Antonio? That's 111, and that was back in September of 2000. So we're not looking at, hottest temperatures ever, but it's still going to be exceedingly hot and very, very humid. And to say that we're hitting 104 to 105 this weekend, even in early to middle June, that's still, abnormal. It's typically not supposed to happen, but it happens when heat waves move right overhead. High pressure systems move right over Texas. That can really crank up the air temperatures and get them up to 104 to 105. So prepare for that. We'll leave it on the 7-day forecast. Gary says, dang, I know it's going to get insanely hot this weekend. So that's pretty much the big takeaway from the forecast. It's hot today, it's hot tomorrow, and it's going to be hotter later on Saturday and Sunday. So yeah, find a way to cool off. Go to the river, go to the beach, find a pool, get the hose, stay cool this weekend, because 105 is dangerously hot. So prepare for heat advisories to be issued from pretty much Friday through Monday. I would say daily heat advisories. Even on Saturday and Sunday, probably excessive heat warnings are likely, because yes, it's July, yes, it's summer, but the fact that we're forecasting up to 105 on Sunday, that's worthy of a heat advisory at the least, if not an excessive heat warning. So plan accordingly. If you're going to the park this weekend, if you're going anywhere outdoors, if you're camping, if you're going to the beach, it's obviously going to be very, very hot and dangerously hot this weekend. So prepare for that. All right, guys, for now, yes, stay safe, Carrie. Absolutely. I mean, this is nothing to mess around with. Even in July, obviously, it's hot this time of year, but to hit 105, that is very, very crazy. Okay, and obviously, too, drink plenty of water. For now, leave it on the 7-day forecast. I'll be live on Ken's 5 at 12 for the noon show, so tune in then for the latest on local news. Weather will go through the forecast again at noon today on Ken's 5. Otherwise, it is going to be toasty. And yes, please drink plenty of water, hydrate and rehydrate. Can't say that enough, especially in this kind of weather pattern. Through the middle of June, 105 on Sunday and 104 both on Saturday and Monday.